We are continuing our conversation about homeschooling with Tam. I'm glad you tuned with us again and again. I'm Naty.
I'm Veda.
And we are here to thrive
Yes, we are.
at the Rising Muse. Welcome
Yes.
back.
That's another thing that I think some people don't recognize. Like these teenagers today that are homeschooled, they're not missing the trends.
Mhm.
Like my kids know about the laboo-boos and all the different jargon and all that type of stuff because if they hear about it, it takes like 10 seconds for them to find it on YouTube or whatever, and they're like, oh, okay. And so now they're just as caught up as anybody else. So we don't have those same concerns. Like I said, I think more so in this decade, our concern is balance because we are so cognizant of the the past and the previous rumors and all the stereotypes that we are overcorrecting and probably too social if there is such a thing, because like our kids will talk to anybody about anything, and that is actually what makes them weird now, because you'll have their teenage counterparts are more, what is it, the Gen Z stare that we've been hearing about? Like their counterparts don't talk, and they get labeled as iPad kids or iPhone kids because they don't talk. And then you got these homeschoolers who are like, why aren't you talking? So it's almost like the roles have kind of switched a little bit in this generation. But yeah.
And Mason talks to everybody.
We were at Chick-fil-A the other day, and a gentleman approached me. He said, "Hi, I'm Mason. What is your name?" You know what? I'm going to kindergarten. I was like, golly.
Yeah.
He talks to everybody.
He talks to everybody.
Yes.
We used to call him what, the little mayor?
Yeah, the mayor.
The mayor, because I promise you,
The
he'll shake
mayor.
hands and kiss
love
the
that.
babies and
I love that. And the thing is, like, adults tend to love that because the homeschool kids, they come off confident and respectful, and they'll say things like, oh, these kids in schools nowadays, and they'll just run off a list of all the things they have against those kids. But I find that as long as kids are loved and supported, they're going to be all right. They're going to turn out all right. I don't like to do the us versus them situation too much, but it's just, you just want to make sure your kid is loved and supported in whatever that they're trying to get, whatever they're trying to achieve.
Aside from the whole, because we could be on socialization for 3 hours.
Yeah.
What other myths are out there that may scare a parent from thinking of homeschooling as an option?
Well, I think the other major one is college. It's always thinking that, well, if they're not getting a diploma from a school that I'm familiar with, how are they going to get to college? And I would encourage people to just go read the college admission standards. If you are genuinely like, I just don't get it, I want to know how it happens, because they are published on pretty much every college's website. Most of them will have a little section or even a whole page sometimes dedicated to specifically homeschool admissions. I would say, familiarize yourself with the Common App, which is what a lot of colleges use nowadays, which
What's it
homeschoolers
called again?
can use. Common
Oh,
App.
okay.
Yeah, so the Common App is basically like a centralized college application form online. And as a homeschool parent, you are the administrator. So you would need your own login while your kid has their own login. And when the child is doing their college admissions through their login, there's a part where they select you as the administrator to plug in the information that's needed, like transcript and all that type of stuff. And I think just because people don't know that that's a thing, they think it's not a thing, and I like to always remind people, just because you don't know something exists doesn't mean it doesn't exist. And again, I like to always like calm people down by saying you are not the first homeschooler applying to this college. I promise you. And in fact, as when I worked in admissions, we got special training like to help private school admissions, public school admissions, homeschool admissions, charter school admissions, like veterans admissions, like these are all different populations. Also, the non-traditional student, meaning anyone who's over 25 applying to school, that has its own lane for admissions. So just because you're in a different lane than what you are familiar with doesn't mean that you don't have a path to college. And so I do want people to know that that's a thing. And just like we were talking about the Southeast Homeschool Expo earlier in the conversation, colleges are there.
Yes.
They send
military is there too.
The military is there. So they're sending their representatives
they
there
are.
to recruit. You wouldn't send your people to recruit at a place you don't want that
Right.
population. So I think, again, if you've never been to a conference, if you've never spoken to an admissions counselor, how would you know? But I do hope that, this message reaches the right people. Like, they love your kids.
Yes.
They're not trying to keep them out. And it's really, at this point, I think colleges are the ones that need to be trying to convince us to send our kids, not the other way around. Like, 20 years ago, it was go to college so you can get a good job. Well, now we've got a generation of kids growing up watching people make money from their phones. And so now colleges are having to compete with, why should I? Why should I invest 4 years and $100,000 to come spend time with you? So I look forward to seeing what the colleges are going to have to
Yeah.
say to make themselves, remain
Relevant. Yeah.
relevant. Because even some employers are even saying, we do not care if you have a degree.
Hmm.
We will train you in what we
Right.
want you to
Hmm.
know. So that'll be interesting to see how that
And we
develops
did
over the
see
next few
also
years.
at the graduation, there were some kids that already had their businesses ongoing,
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
and they were graduating
Yes.
high school.
Hmm.
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 Yeah, well, because they have the time. Like, we all know, in the three of us, we know homeschooling does not take
Hmm.
7 hours. So once you've done your 2 to 3 hours of work, what is this kid
Hmm.
doing the rest
Hmm.
of the day? Well, some of them are starting
Hmm.
Hmm.
businesses. Like, my kids have seen me start a little Etsy
Hmm.
shop. My daughters are very artsy. They want to start their own Etsy shop and get into
Hmm.
animation. And so they're taking classes right now to polish up those skills. And who knows where that
Hmm.
might take them, whether they get into YouTube animation or not. And so, yeah, you need other things to fill up your day. And a lot of homeschoolers pivot towards starting their own
Hmm.
businesses or working in the family business if the family already has an established business, because they have the
Hmm.
time.
Hmm. I know one of the good things about homeschooling is you don't have to do 8 to 3.
Hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, you don't. You don't.
And I think that's what Dre loves the most, the 13-year-old, that he doesn't have to get up early to
Mm-hmm.
get on the bus to,
Yeah.
you know, because our homeschool starts at
Yeah.
different times.
Oh yeah.
It could be like
Mm-hmm.
from 11 to 2 or 12 to 3.
Yeah. And to be honest, what's more real world than
Hmm.
that? Because just like in the real world, that place that they say we don't get any experience, just like you have different
Hmm.
Hmm.
shifts. Not everybody's shift starts at 8 when
Right.
you're in the real. I personally work a job that's 10 to
Hmm.
5. So being able to
Hmm.
adapt to different situations and being, as I said, we've been doing this for 10,
Hmm.
11 years. Our schedule has not remained the
Hmm.
same. Some years we started at 8, now we start closer to
Oh yeah.
Hmm.
10:30. So, being able to just have that flexibility to
Hmm.
adapt to the times, I think is also extremely attractive to a lot of
Yes.
homeschoolers. I know me personally, I would cry if I had to if I had to get on the
six
the the
o'clock in the
schedule, because
morning.
my kids are all elementary, middle, and high school. So I'd have one in each
Oh.
Hmm.
school. I'd cry having to keep up with
Hmm.
that. I'd be like, oh man,
Hmm.
if they really wanted to, I'd
Hmm.
allow it, of course. But I'm just like, you sure you want to wake up at this hour? We don't have to do this.
Now, Miss Tam, what made you
Yes.
take your homeschool skills and put them on social media?
Accident, I can assure you. I wanted to be a book talker. I thought I was going to get on TikTok and talk about books I was reading, but I saw someone do a skit as a customer service representative. And at the time I was one, I was working for Nike from home, and I had a thought to just do customer service, but for homeschoolers. And so I put on my little work headset and I said, "Thank you for calling the homeschool help desk. My name is Tam. How may I help you?" Just to be funny.
Hmm.
I think the first one I did was a skit about how coffee is part of the curriculum for homeschoolers because, we all drink
Hmm.
coffee. Or fun fact, I don't always drink coffee.
Hmm. Hmm.
So that made some folks laugh. And I started getting other homeschoolers in the comments who were like, "Oh, yeah, girl, me too. Same. This is so
Hmm.
relatable." And someone asked a real question. They were like, "This is something I'm interested in. How did you get started?" Or something like that. And that's what sparked it, was just somebody asking a question. And I am incapable. There's certain things I'm incapable of doing. One is resisting a free book. Someone hands me a free book, I'm taking it. The second is, if you ask me a question about homeschooling, I'm gonna
Hmm.
answer it. I can't, as long as it's
Right.
respectful, of course. I can't not answer the question because I feel this compulsion I just want people to know it's an
Hmm.
Hmm.
option. You don't have to do
Hmm.
it. Like, we can be friends if you don't
Hmm.
Hmm.
homeschool. but I just want you to know that it's an
Mm-hmm.
option,
Mm-hmm.
because I feel like so many people think it's just off the table for them, whether budget or time or whatever. And I just want you to know it's an option.
Mm-hmm.
So someone asked a question in the comments, I answered it, and I started to get more questions. And so then it just became like a question answer thing, which then led to the lives, which then led to a podcast, which then led to whatever is happening right
Mm-hmm.
now, because I don't even know what's going on my TikTok anymore. Sometimes I just log in, I'm like, okay, apparently I've upset people.
That's when you know you arrived.
Girl, no, I honestly, I don't understand how my content is upsetting. I think I make sense, but apparently I don't sometimes, and it makes it go off the rails. But then that sparks more conversations where people are trying to inform people of, what their experience of homeschooling is. And I do love the conversations around it, because I feel like my job is done as long as people know it's an
Mm-hmm.
option. Not that they feel compelled to
Mm-hmm.
do it or bad
Mm-hmm.
for not doing
Mm-hmm.
it, but just don't take options off the
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
table until you've considered them. That's my whole
Mm-hmm.
thing. That's all I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
And like there was one of my videos is I related homeschooling to or I related public schools to
Mm-hmm.
restaurants. And I said, as parents, it's our job to feed kids. You don't always have to feed them at a restaurant. You can feed them at home, in the very same way you can homeschool your kids. But that doesn't mean you never go to
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Chick-fil-A. That doesn't mean you don't take inspiration from a restaurant's menu and adapt that at
Mm-hmm.
home. But one thing I wish I had said in that video was like, if I lived in an area where I had 5-star restaurants that were just included in my taxes, and then private chefs were, catering to me, you better believe we eating out every day, every day. But I do not live in an
Mm-hmm.
area where we have 5-star
Mm-hmm.
restaurants. And so, I live in an area where some of these restaurants, the quality control is
Mm-hmm.
lacking. So we gonna
Mm-hmm.
have to eat at home. And I feel that some ways about some of our schools
Mm-hmm.
too. It's like you hear what's going on in your schools. One of my very good friends worked at a school and got bitten by a child, had a child attack her with scissors. And I'm like, that's not the place I'm gonna send
Right.
my kid.
Mm-hmm.
That's just not what's gonna happen. So you have to assess where you are. Like where my mom lives, totally sign them
Mm-hmm.
up,
Mm-hmm.
send them.
Go.
Mm-hmm.
where I where I
Mm-hmm.
am out in rural Georgia, I'm like, you know what? I don't know if I want someone to be teaching my kid who, might have been their grandparent might have been in a history book or something.
Mm.
Maybe I want something a little different. We might need to have a little different focus
Yeah.
at our
Why do I
house.
understand
You
Oh,
exactly
I
what
do
you're saying?
too.
I understand
eh,
exactly what you're saying.
Which
these are things we have to
We do.
consider, what I'm saying? So
I will
I
tell
don't talk
you,
about that a
and
lot
sometimes you
online.
have to be mindful of the places you go
Yeah.
You have to be discerning.
because
Exactly.
yeah,
Exactly.
yes, yes, yes,
I'm surprised we still fronting.
yes. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Okay, no,
Uh-uh.
wait.
Uh-uh. New
See,
mom.
ignorance,
New mom.
ignorance.
New mom.
And I didn't grow up
Oh.
in Georgia, so I know about a lot of things, history books, but I am Hispanic, grew up in Puerto Rico, so there are things that I know, but I had not experienced.
Right.
So I thought that all people were created equal. I was wrong. In my heart, they are, but not everybody has that vision.
Mm.
And
Yeah.
again, I was trying to find story time for the baby,
Hmm.
and I I researched, but I didn't research well. And I
Hmm.
found one that was quite a ways from us. We're not going to name the place, but it was the absolute wrong place.
Forsyth County.
You don't understand.
Yes, I did.
So it has a
Yes,
reputation
I did.
for a reason.
We drive an hour to the library.
I
Hmm.
was wrong.
We get out of the car with the baby. We opened the door to the library and everybody stopped what they
We
were
ended the
doing.
class.
Mm,
Oh.
mm,
Mm.
We and because we drove. I mean, the class was supposed to be like an hour, hour and a half. We got there like 15
Hmm.
minutes late, so they had already started. Once we walked in,
Hmm.
the class
class
ended.
was over.
Class was over.
Wow.
They packed up and cleaned us.
Yeah.
I told her you will
I think that's
never,
something that's very
ever, never, 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 never. So after then, I had to give her a mile radius.
Well, then now, again, I was new. I didn't know what I was doing. I found
yeah.
out that my libraries were doing things
Right up the
around the
street.
corner.
Right up the street.
Yeah.
And now I go there, and my libraries around me are wonderful. My son has a crush on the kids'
He does.
librarian.
He does.
So if we go
Oh.
to the library and it's not, even if it's not story time, we can't leave until we see Miss Sarah.
Mm-hmm.
You know. And the whole
Mm.
nine yards. So no, we have we've come a long way.
It was a learning experience.
Oh yeah, it was a learning experience, all right.
Yeah. So I understand what you were
No, but I
talking
mean
about.
these are very real things though. Like you hear about the the school to prison
Mm-hmm.
pipeline, or
Mm-hmm.
you hear about, I have a little son, and you hear about how boys are treated, black boys especially, treated and disciplined
Mm-hmm.
differently. And so,
Mm-hmm.
and people do come in with their different biases,
Mm-hmm.
and I just have never felt that I was willing to gamble in
Mm-hmm.
that way, because for me personally, it felt like I would have to hope that they got into a good
Mm-hmm.
class with a teacher who could speak the language that they needed for, to understand the material in the way that they needed to present it, and have classmates around them who were going to, be good influences, and not ones that we had to come home and say, now they might do that at Susie's house, but we don't do that
Mm-hmm.
here. I didn't want to have to constantly
Mm-hmm.
feel like I was um like readjusting, like recalibrating, so to speak, because after your kids have been around other kids for a while and they hear how they might pop off to their parents, you got to remind them, like, okay,
That doesn't
they
happen
might
It's
talk like
here.
called
that.
deprogramming, okay? That's what that's called.
And so I just, and it's still don't get me wrong, it still
Oh yeah.
happens. As there's been times, like mentioned, we've been in Girl Scouts, we've been in sports, so like it still happens, they still hear it, and they're still around those kids, who they might hear it at the park or
Mm-hmm.
whatever. But I just wasn't willing to gamble with my three kids for 13 years, and hope and hope and hope that they got good teachers, good classmates, and could keep up with the material. I was just like, I'm willing to take some of this
Mm-hmm.
on
And like I was
and just
saying the other
see how
day,
see how it works.
I did not subscribe to what a teacher told me. I was at the park, and he's a teacher at a public school,
Mm-hmm.
and he's going, no, I homeschool. Oh, but he needs to go to school because he needs to be bullied so that he can know how to deal with that when he grows up. I said he has older
Yeah.
brothers that are taking care of that
Oh,
chapter.
believe me, they A1 at bullying him. A 19-year-old, 13-year-old, and a 4-year-old.
The 13-year-old
The
especially.
13-year-old is the bully.
Yeah, and I was like, you don't have to.
I do find that strange, though, that that's the selling point. It's like if I'm trying to recruit you for a job and I say, "Listen, Natty, I have the perfect job for you. It's going to help prepare you for the real world, but you just have to get punched in the face." And that will help you be able to handle the pressure of this job. I'm pretty sure you'd be like, "Yeah, nah. I'm going to look for a job where being punched in the face is
Not a
not a
I
requirement." But
don't
thank you,
have to get
though.
shot
Thank
by
you.
a bullet to know it hurt. Okay?
So I was like, yeah, he
And
has some older brothers that are taking care
Mm,
of that
yeah.
chapter. We got
They
that
got
covered.
that.
Don't worry about
Mm-hmm.
it.
Mm-hmm. They experts.
and the thing is, I don't like that that's something that, I mean, you're supposed to be this, zero tolerance and all this type of stuff. So that lets me know right there, you're saying the quiet part out loud. You are a teacher who would allow this to happen in your
Because
classroom
you think it's a learning experience.
Mm.
because you think it's
Mhm.
necessary. And it's just like, I fundamentally disagree
Oh
with you
yeah,
on
Oh
that.
yeah,
absolutely.
she
So
comes
thank you,
home
but
that
no
day
thank
and
you.
she said, "We're doing the right thing in homeschooling." Yes, we're doing the right thing.
I do think it's odd that they say it out loud. I'm like, did you hear yourself
Mm-hmm.
when you said that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Who curriculums?
Yes.
How? And I know it happened, but you're more organized than me. How do you? If somebody was overwhelmed because there are a lot of options, and there
Yes.
are options paid and non-paid, Christian,
Hmm.
non-Christian. There are a lot of
A lot.
options. How do you
Hmm.
find what works?
So you know, you've been to a buffet, like Golden Corral
Mm-hmm.
or something,
Mm-hmm.
right? I just put the options in front of my kids and see which ones they gravitate towards at this point, because I think everything looks good.
Mm-hmm.
Everything, that there's nothing like a crisp, colorful workbook,
Mm-hmm.
freshly sharpened Crayola color pencils. That is, I love that. And I am easily swayed. I get shiny object syndrome every single back to school season because I think everything looks great. I was just at Hobby Lobby the other day buying this little thing here that I don't need, little little pencil holder that looks like notebook paper. I don't need that,
Mm-hmm.
but I thought it was cute,
Yeah.
right? So I'm
And I'm
terrible about
addicted
it.
to school
Um,
supplies and office supplies.
She sure is.
they look so
She is.
good. I like to organize those
Mm-hmm.
things. Yes. But I will tell you, including your kids helps to narrow things down very quickly, because they'll just straight up tell you that's boring.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like that.
Mm-hmm.
That's mid. I don't want to do
Mm-hmm.
that. Or oh, this actually looks interesting. Like my daughter was just at I told you I work at a curriculum consignment
Mm-hmm.
shop. So my daughter was there at work with me yesterday, and she was just looking around, browsing, and she picked up some things that she found interesting. And I was like, absolutely. Just because you are interested in this, that's what we're going to
Mm-hmm.
pick, regardless of my
Mm-hmm.
thoughts
Mm-hmm.
about it, because you're interested, we're going in that
Mm-hmm.
direction. And I think sometimes as parents we can get overwhelmed by what we see other people
Mm-hmm.
using, because we like to follow the
Right.
trends, and that's why trends are what they are.
Right.
But I think if you encourage your kid to look at things and don't be afraid of the free trials. I preach free
Mm-hmm.
trials like it is my full-time job. Do the free trials, because that will let you know. And one of the things my husband always says to me, he'll be like, if I'm very, very passionate about wanting to buy something, he'll be like, give it 24 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Do you still have that same
Mm-hmm.
enthusiasm after
Yeah.
you've let some time
Yeah.
pass? And I think that's what the free trials help us do, because everything looks good in a 15-second TikTok.
Mm-hmm.
It's the angles, it's the lighting, it's the music behind it, especially you put a little 90s nostalgia behind it. I love that product even more. But then you got to give it 24 hours. Am I still thinking about it the next
Mm-hmm.
day? And chances are I'm not. And I have to recognize that I was momentarily interested,
Mm-hmm.
or it got me in that moment. And just making it a collaborative decision, I think, helps. Like, get your husband involved, get your kids involved, and then give it a day or give it a week. Or sometimes companies have a full 30-day
Mm-hmm.
free trial. See if you want to stick with it for 30 days. That'll let you know if you ought to invest any money with it.
I like that.
So that's my thing.
Mm-hmm.
But I love all the curriculums, honestly. You ask me what's my favorite curriculum, it will change every single time you ask me. Because I just think they're all cute, especially when they line up on my shelf like this. Oh my gosh.
Mm-hmm. And I know you have, and we're going to put the link tree on the description, a whole bunch
Hmm.
of resources that are free. That there's a lot of
Yes, yeah.
things that you can get, especially for elementary school,
Hmm.
that all you have to do is print and laminate.
High school too.
Huh?
Middle school and high school too. I would say those, whenever you're searching for things, I always want people to remember to delete homeschool from your search, and you'll find more
Mm-hmm.
things.
Mm-hmm.
Like, delete the word
Mm-hmm.
homeschool. Instead of looking for third grade homeschool math, just look for third grade
Mm-hmm.
math, and you will find a lot of things out there, because at the end of the day, teachers are out here, looking for those same resources
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
too. So websites like Teachers Pay Teachers, PBS Learning Media, newpathworksheets.com, ixl.com, education.com, all these different places. I mentioned Coloring
Mm-hmm.
Squared earlier in the podcast. Like, these are all places where, for the price of printing, you can get
Mm-hmm.
access to free
Mm-hmm.
resources. Easy Peasy is another one.
Yes.
All in one
Mm-hmm.
middleschool.com. I think it's at homemiddleschool.com, and then all in one highschool.com. I might have messed
Oh,
those
okay. I
websites up.
hadn't
I'm
heard of
sorry.
those.
Mm-hmm.
But like, all these are out there, and like full high school curriculums with, sciences with labs. Same thing for middle school. These things are out here, but they're not specifically marketed towards homeschoolers. So you
Mm.
have to think more like an educator
Mm-hmm.
than a homeschooler, and you'll find a lot more freebies, because in
Mm-hmm.
2025, if you absolutely wanted to homeschool without having to spend money,
You can.
aside from the price of
Right.
printing, you
Yes.
could. You could. That is not me
Mm-hmm.
No.
exaggerating. That's not me saying maybe, sort of, kind of. I'm talking full core with
Mm-hmm.
electives.
And
And this
quality
includes take
education,
Yeah.
not just crappy stuff because it's
and I was
free.
just
Yeah.
yeah. And I was just about to say this also includes the online college courses
Mhm.
like edx.org, and different colleges offer MOOCs,
Mhm.
which it's MOOC. It's like it stands for something, but basically it means the free version of the course that the colleges offer. All this stuff is online now, and it's not like you just said, it's not the low quality. These are high quality courses that are out there, but again, nowhere on the page will you see homeschool.
Mhm.
So if you delete that from your search, you're more likely to find all these types of things that
Mhm.
are out there. And then, of course, you can add on tailor make things with online courses that are taught by teachers, because let's be honest, we're not paying teachers nearly
Mhm.
enough for what we're asking of
Mhm.
them. And a lot of teachers are going to these online
Mhm.
platforms where they are having different private classes that they're offering for sometimes as low as like $5 a
Mhm.
course, which is
Mhm.
Mhm.
for the kid, but you're learning from a qualified educator who's just passionate about that
Mhm.
topic. And I'm seeing more micro schools popping
Mhm.
up, and we already talked about co-ops being a thing too. That also includes a lot of educators
Mhm.
coming in because they are just passionate about what they
Mhm.
do. So many
Mhm.
ways. Like the art thing that my kids do at UGA is free.
Mhm.
I am not paying for
Mhm.
that.
Mhm.
So a lot of these things are in the community, but again, not anywhere on there will you see the word homeschool. So you have to be willing to, you
Yeah.
know, search outside your comfort zone a little
Because
bit.
when you put homeschool, you're putting it in a
It restricts the
box.
surface.
It'll be a
Yeah. Yeah.
restriction. So, yeah, just
Mm-hmm.
do it like you're.
One of the things that I learned from you when I started this process is there is nothing that you child will miss by being homeschooled. You just have to find the way to do it. Like,
Yeah.
I remember thinking, well, you know, the Christmas play. Well, there are art
Yeah.
places that you can
Yeah.
do that. And I remember her saying,
Yeah.
put it together yourself.
Mhm.
You need
Mhm.
to.
Yes, it's literally, if it doesn't already exist, you can probably find one or two other people
Hmm.
who are willing to help you
Hmm.
build it. So my girls were just in a drama
Hmm.
camp, and the drama camp is in our community, and they do at least two plays a year that are for kids specifically, and the one that happens in around Christmas is always for
Hmm.
kids. So if you want your kid to be in a Christmas play, they can be in a Christmas
Hmm.
play.
Right.
If you want. So it's and same thing with prom. Like the kids in my area, they host a homeschool
Mhm.
prom for themselves, and there's I would say homeschooling can be as closed off as you want it to be, and as open
Mhm.
and involved as you want
Right.
it to be. If you're the type of person that would choose to be more, isolated, you can
Hmm.
isolate.
Mhm.
And people do isolate,
Mhm.
and that's I don't love that, but that's not my family, that's not
Hmm.
my kid. But you can also be very, very out
Hmm.
there, to the point where, like, Georgia specifically, our state lets the kids participate in extracurriculars starting at the 6th grade
Hmm.
level, which is in the law, which again, a lot of people don't know
Mhm.
this. So they'll start saying, oh, your kid is going to miss out on sports and
Hmm.
this and that. And it's like, actually,
Hmm.
no, we can absolutely still participate in our local public school extracurriculars by just following the guidelines for that school.
Hmm.
So nothing is off
Right.
limits, literally.
I have a question. Is homeschool legal in every state in the United
It
States?
is.
Yeah.
It is.
Awesome.
All 50 states, Puerto Rico, and the Virgin
Hmm.
Mhm.
Islands.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. The regulations are
Mm.
different per state.
Mhm.
We
They are
we are
different.
one of
Yeah.
the fortunate ones, I would say, because it's
Yeah.
pretty hands off. But I don't know if it's New York. You have to actually present the lesson plan to the state and
Mhm.
attendance and all kinds of stuff. Now, attendance, I don't have, they're home. They're gonna miss the
I
class.
have found I have found when I look up the regulations for each state that if a state requires
Hmm.
more, they usually offer more
Mhm.
Oh.
as well. So while New York, yes, they have more paperwork that needs to be submitted, they also offer more in terms of
Ah.
resources, like, to help get you started. Like the paperwork they're asking you to submit, they give it to you.
Hmm.
You don't have to make it up.
Mhm.
You just got to fill it in. And then there's states like Texas where nothing is required, but also nothing is provided.
Hmm.
So you do have to work a little harder to find your networks in
Hmm.
Texas.
Mhm.
So
So,
it's a
hmm,
trade-off. Like and Georgia, we're kind of in the middle where there's paperwork we got to submit, which is provided. They provide the
it's
paperwork,
online. It's a
but
form
Yeah.
then
online.
they right, it's a form online. It's like vehicle
Hmm.
registration. It takes you no time, but then they also provide some resources as
Hmm.
well to help guide us along the way, and they allow that, the participation in the athletics and the extracurriculars as our kids get
Mm-hmm.
older. Now, elementary, that's not included in the Dexter Mosley Act currently, but elementary has no problem finding things
Yeah.
to do. We need we
Middle
need
school and
less
high
things.
school.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
And one of the things I
So it's
discovered,
all
at least in
relative.
Georgia, they have a department for homeschool, and you
Hmm.
can call them or email them, and they are responsive.
Yeah,
They
yeah, yeah.
answer the
No, you're
questions
not out here
back.
floating in the wind.
Yes, yes. It's not like, oh, you leave a message and nobody gets back with you. No, no, no. They call back and
Yeah.
they answer back and stuff. It's at least here.
And every single year they have homeschool day at the Capitol, so you
We
can go
went.
We
there
went.
and did y'all like it?
Yes.
Yes.
Ye-
Yeah, so I mean they're not ignoring
No.
us. so,
Actually,
so
when
yeah,
we went, they were working on, I don't know the name of the law, the one that was gonna, and I think it passed, allow for
the
the
testing,
testing.
the
Yes,
testing.
Mm-hmm.
that's when we
Yes.
went. They were down that you can take the SATs or ACTs
Mm-hmm.
or whatever at
Mm-hmm.
the same time at the school while the
Yep.
kids are taking the test.
Yeah, we were there that
Yeah.
day. I enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm.
Walking through the
Mm-hmm.
Capitol,
Mm-hmm.
seeing the representatives and the senators down the steps, standing over, looking at them. I even walked up to a
Mm-hmm.
We
representative.
did talk
Remember?
to one, yeah.
I walked up to him and I said, "Hello, my name is Veda Green. I'm a homeschool teacher. Who are you?" She was standing right there.
That's where Mason gets it from.
Mm-hmm. Well,
Yeah.
my mother taught us. We were blessed to go to a rich white school, 30 miles from
Mm-hmm.
where we live. My mother taught there, and they allowed the teachers to bring their children, which was
Okay.
awesome. So from the fourth grade through the 12th, I was able
Mm-hmm.
to be educated very well. And a part of that education is speech
Mm-hmm.
and how you
Yes.
talk to people and looking in their eyes. And, because mom said we don't have to look at the ground anymore. We can look in a person's eyes when we talk to them. And
Mm-hmm.
that's been my goal to do that. And just in
Yep.
the later part of my life, I got bold enough to just walk up to people and introduce myself, you know. And
Yep.
it really helps her because she's not really a people person, but because we've been in her life, she's becoming a people person.
I have no choice when the little one is in front of me talking to everybody, and they just say hello to me, but they actually talk to me. So I've had to.
I think y'all just hit on something really beautiful though, because I think that's another thing a lot of homeschool parents worry about is thinking that they have to teach all the things all at once, all at the same
Mm-hmm.
time. And if you don't get it done by the time your child turns 18, by the time the clock strikes midnight, that's it, their life is
Mm-hmm.
over. You can still learn things.
Mm-hmm.
Learning is lifelong.
Yes.
And you're going to have other people that come in and out of your life that are going to be part of your network, part of your village, that teach your kids
Mm-hmm.
things, some good, some not so
Mm-hmm.
good. But nobody's doing this alone. We're not homeschooling
Right.
alone. And you don't have to do all the things all at once, all by
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
yourself. Like,
Mm-hmm.
you just mentioned you're helping her become more of a people
Mm-hmm.
person to, look people in the eye and say, hi, my name is, when you go up and speak. And your son is teaching, your 4-year-old is teaching
Mm-hmm.
you while you're teaching, you're going to be teaching him, his
Mm-hmm.
things, and
Mm-hmm.
he's helping you as well. So I do love that learning is collaborative,
Mm-hmm.
and that is highlighted
Mm-hmm.
even more so in the homeschool community. Of course, it's also collaborative in
Mm-hmm.
every other
Yes.
arena too, but it's especially highlighted in homeschooling because we are kind of building our
Mm-hmm.
schools from scratch, so to
Mm-hmm.
speak. But we don't have to do it alone. We don't have to do it in
Right.
Right.
isolation.
Right.
I love that gets highlighted within
Well, I
homeschooling.
love the fact that mom prepared us for life.
Yeah.
And that's
Mm-hmm.
what I want to do for my grandsons and for our
Mm-hmm.
children. I tell them, speak up, please.
Mm-hmm.
Even when they're talking to us and we're in school, the 19-year-old, it's like he's mom, and I'm like, look, baby, grandma need hearing aids. Don't have them yet. So can you just speak up for me, please? But trying to get them to what's in them to bring it out of them that they don't even know they have, you know?
Yeah.
And so because of her, I'm a homeschool teacher.
Mhm.
Because of her, I'm a podcaster. But because of her, I have learned so much. Because I came
Mm-hmm.
in with my own preconceived notions about homeschool. I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna make it. Mm. This is and the first year
Yeah.
she's just all over the, and I'm like, oh, I'm just, this is not gonna
Well, the
work.
first year was fun. You know, we were just teaching a toddler because we counted it, but it was painting on the floor, banging on pots and
Mm-hmm.
pans.
Mm-hmm.
Did you say fun?
The first because it was the baby, it was just the
You,
baby.
Mm-hmm.
oh,
Mm-hmm.
let me tell you, my first year was not fun.
Mm-mm.
Well, again, it was a
Have you?
toddler. He was 2, so it's
So were mine.
oh
Listen, I
okay.
had a 4-year-old and a 2-year-old when we first started, and I was trying to emulate British boarding
Oh
schools,
no.
down to designing a crest,
It's just
having them wear uniforms and have the little crest emblazoned on some little blazers. I didn't go so far as the blazers, but my mom was 100% on board. She was like, "Girl, yes, we can get that done." Um, trying to do
you
Mandarin
wanted
and Latin with
uniforms
a
in your home?
4-year-old. No, 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 not wanted.
Oh.
Had them. We went to Old Navy, and our colors were gray, dark gray, and navy blue. Girl, when I tell you it was intense. That's why when you
we
said
have we
fun, I
have
was
a
like,
logo and yeah, we have a logo and
uh huh.
we're gonna have
Yeah, we.
lanyards that I'm crocheting with IDs
What
this
did you
Mm-hmm.
just do?
no, I've heard that story before. I'm not gonna create a crest.
What did you just?
And I'm not gonna do uniforms. I'm good. She thinking you're giving me
Listen,
ideas.
the crest, listen, I already know that the crest, our school name, it's going to be on the
Of
diploma.
course.
I'm getting the transcript paper, the ones that go void, 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 void if copied. Girl, professional over here.
Yeah.
The transcripts that I have for my kids. This is how type A I am, Vita. You're not gonna love this. I'm sorry. I sell them. I make them
Yeah.
available for
Mm-hmm.
sale. And they've been purchased over 500
Mm-hmm.
times and used by other people. So my transcript is crowdsourced. I already know it
I
works.
love it. I love it.
So when I tell you I have a problem, but I'm not trying to fix it. The only thing is we don't do uniforms anymore, but the crest is very much going to be a part of the diploma when it's time.
Mm.
Like I already know the company I'm using to order
Don't
it.
look at me. Don't look at
We're
me.
gonna have
She's
a
like, you're
good
giving
time
her
over
ideas.
We
here.
gonna have to talk off camera. You just stay right there. When we finish, we just gonna have to talk
I
off
think I'm gonna
camera.
make a crest. I know I'm not gonna put uniforms because I don't even like to dress. So I that's one of the things
I
I
don't
love
have to
about
worry about the
homeschooling.
uniform, but the
No.
crest. Oh,
Listen, in my defense, I thought that it would cut down on decision fatigue with having to decide what to wear when we go out.
Pajama. Oh,
But
we're going on because we homeschool in
it's said
pajamas.
no,
We
pajamas.
homeschool in pajamas.
no,
It's
no.
said-
We do.
But I will tell you, the uniforms lasted about 6 weeks, and then it was a wrap. But it was
I'm
cute.
sure
It
it
was
was.
cute while it lasted.
Now I do the first day of school shirt and take
and
pictures.
takes pictures.
I have
Mm-hmm.
to do that.
And this
Yeah.
year, for Mason to start kindergarten, his dad wanted to know how we gonna do that. Cause I always wanted to take him to school
Yeah, and
for
I
his
was
first
like,
day.
Mm-hmm.
and then I said no problem because his first day of school is going to be at that class that I do at the library. Bring
Yeah,
him
yeah, yeah.
on.
Mm-hmm.
You drive him to the
Yeah,
So
have it.
dad
library.
would get to
Book bag, like
driving.
my kids have Jan sports and all. They, yeah, fill up the backpack and
That's
go do
that's what I
schoolwork
said.
somewhere else.
Yeah,
Like
Yeah.
we have, yeah,
said you don't
exactly. We
have
do
to.
school. We don't
And I
always
use that
do it
phrase
at
that you
home.
use. You don't have to miss anything because it's homeschool. You want the experience of bringing him to
Mm-hmm.
first day of school. Happens to be that first day of school is going to be at the library. Take him to school.
Yeah.
I'll be there earlier to
Exactly.
clear. Actually, thank
Get,
you because I can get there early and set up the room before he gets to turn it down.
listen, Hobby Lobby has some really cute plates and napkins. Like the plates look like pencils, the napkins look like notebook paper. You got to go get those and have the whole little setup. Take pictures. Take pictures and send it to me.
I will. She hates it.
Miss Tam, we
Why?
really
It's so
enjoyed you today.
cute. Uh, she said, "Get her out of here. Get her out of here."
Because, like, I'm always doing something. I'm always.
Listen, you got to get one of these. A- And then you flip it and it goes
For
for
the
last
last
day of
day.
school.
Oh, I look.
Yeah.
I love
So
it.
it's like a before and after. You got to get you one.
And he's into Stitch right now. He doesn't know it because it's on its way. But first day of school is gonna be a Stitch shirt that I'm ordering. It's gonna be
Oh,
so
I
cute. He's
love
gonna
that.
fall out.
And she's making him a Stitch
Backpack.
backpack.
Yes, I love
Mm-hmm.
that. I love anything customized, which is probably why I landed on homeschooling anyway,
He
because I just love
customizes
a
the education
custom
of the
moment,
children.
a monogrammed moment. I like anything that someone else doesn't
Mm-hmm.
have because I like the unique feel.
Mm-hmm.
So it was meant to be. Like my when I told my family we were homeschooling, they didn't even really question it. They were like, "Yeah,
Sure. It's the,
she's always doing something that people are not doing."
I think my extended family probably thinks the
Yeah,
same
when we
way.
told them we were going to homeschool, they didn't say anything. But because I'm from Alabama and I know the South and I know my
Hmm.
people, I could just hear what was going on in their brain, right?
Oh, we still get
Hmm.
questions.
Yeah, because we taught the high schooler for 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
We taught him for
Hmm.
2 years. And I'm saying to myself, I know my children don't think that this is going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
But when we were sitting at
Mm.
that graduation, girl, tears
Oh,
flowing.
I'm sure.
Everybody, I mean, like,
And then they saw the diploma was real.
oh my God, we were just so thankful. And we looked at each other going, we just graduated our first homeschooler.
Y'all
Yeah,
did that. Y'all did
yeah.
that.
So
That's gonna be me
God is
soon.
good.
It's coming.
God
Yes.
is good.
Tim, what has
Yes.
homeschooling taught you about yourself
Yeah.
as a person and as a mom?
You know what? Um, when I when I think about that question, I have to think about this book I'm reading right now. And the book is called The Courage to be Disliked.
Hmm.
And even it's not so much about other people disliking you because the fact is other people aren't really thinking about
Mm-hmm.
you as much as you think they are, but just the courage to do something that's a little bit off the beaten
Mm-hmm.
path
Mm-hmm.
and not worry so much that you don't have all the answers up front. It's taught me to relax a little bit. If being honest, I know I just put out all that type A
Mm-hmm.
stuff that I'm doing, but homeschooling has taught me to relax, to let things happen, to that my kids are capable,
Mm-hmm.
to trust them and their, to allow them to make mistakes, take chances, get messy. Thank you, Miss Frizzle, for the
Mm-hmm.
phrase. And that's why I keep this little thing back here, which says courage in the periodic table of elements. I don't know
Oh,
if y'all
that's
can
so
see that.
Wow.
cute.
I got this from the Dollar Tree. It was $3
Mm-hmm.
50 back then. And I keep that. It's been in every single homeschool room that we've ever
Mm-hmm.
had because it does take courage
Mm-hmm.
to do
Yeah.
something where other people might be critical. But even like putting other people aside, it takes courage to do something that you yourself aren't super confident
Mm-hmm.
in. And especially when it's involving your kids and you don't want to mess them up in any way, but you still have to like move courageously and still try and not let your mistakes define you and cripple you or paralyze you with fear.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I would say. It's taught me to be more courageous in what we're doing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I've had so much fun.
This is awesome. This is awesome.
Oh.
I've enjoyed this. I have truly enjoyed, and I'm glad that I went to see for myself.
Mm-hmm.
That expo opened my eyes, my mind. And remember
Yes.
last year we went to um, some people that had the transcript already printed.
Oh yeah, we
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
there.
Oh,
Yeah,
no, sorry. Go ahead. Go
they
ahead.
had all the paperwork that we needed. They
Mhm.
had it printed.
Mm-hmm.
Transcript. That's what
Mm-hmm.
I remember. Transcript template. You know.
Yeah, they have
Yep.
a system where you, as you go, you put the grades,
Mm-hmm.
and then
Mm-hmm.
you print
And they'll
the
print
yeah,
it
you
in.
print the report cards, you
Yeah.
print the diploma, you print transcripts, or just the regular report cards. They have a whole thing.
So
But I know you have some
Yep,
after
too.
4 years at this
I
point,
do.
there are no limitations to homeschooling except you.
Right.
That's the only limitation.
And that's the hardest part is the mental, getting over those mental blocks,
Mm-hmm.
those mental limitations that we put on ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
Because again, most of the time people are not thinking about you
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
as much as you think.
Mm-hmm.
They really aren't. They might ask a little question like, "Oh, so what about socialization, whatever," but they're really not
Mm-hmm.
obsessed about you.
Mm-hmm.
So just do what you feel like you need to do in that
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
moment.
Yeah.
Because you're the only one that you have to really
Right.
answer to. Even if you live in a state with guidelines, it's
Right.
still
Yeah.
you and your mental at the end of the day.
Exactly.
Do you do all your schooling, or do the kids do like you were saying online, or
Oh no, we're outsourcing at this point.
so but you do
I
at the
do the
beginning?
younger years. Yes, at the beginning it was me, and now they're in different programs that they do
Mm-hmm.
online, and then their electives and their sports and all their extracurriculars. I'm a huge fan of supporting other people who are more passionate than me.
I hear you.
That's how I'll say
Mhm.
it.
Yeah.
You sound
So
like
people who are
me.
more passionate than me, I
Mm-hmm.
love to support them in their endeavors.
Mm-hmm.
So there was this one lady who wanted to do a debate club, for example, and I was very happy to sign my daughters up for her online debate course, and they had a fabulous time for a few months with her. And now they're doing other programs, like I mentioned, the animation. And I love, like I said, to support people who are more passionate about those topics, that share
Mm-hmm.
the same interests as my kids do, and I'm happy to sign up. And if there's a small fee,
Mm-hmm.
I'm happy to pay
Bake
it
brownies,
because
whatever need to be done.
I'm not going to restrict them to just what I
Right.
know. I'm not
Mm-hmm.
trying to create little clones of
Right.
Right.
me. I want them to
Mm-hmm.
thrive,
Right.
no
Right.
no pun
Exactly.
intended. So I'm not closing any
Mm-hmm.
doors.
Oh yeah.
But I do have a lot of extras help, like, once they've done their core math on their program, we have extra math practice here at
Mm-hmm.
school.
Okay.
So it's a good little blend. I think my phone's about to die. Trying to get my charger.
Oh, we've been here for a long time.
We have.
Last question. For someone
All
listening
right.
right now who's nervous but curious, first step before they make that decision.
First step. Oh my gosh, learn the
Mm-hmm.
laws. Learn the rules so you know how to play the game. That's really the first step. Don't go off of emotions, because emotions come and go. I will say and that's something that I think I didn't know well enough at first.
Mm-hmm.
Oop, lost my light. Um, and I think a lot of people do jump into
Mm-hmm.
homeschooling and they're more emotional because something happens on the news
Mm-hmm.
or their kid has a bad experience at school. Like a lot of people who are homeschooling, their kids have already been to
Mm-hmm.
school. Um, I would say that's a fleeting feeling, and that's not where that shouldn't be the strongest motivator to
Mm-hmm.
homeschool. It can be part of the
Mm-hmm.
decision, but it shouldn't be the main
Mm-hmm.
thing. Because at the end of the day, homeschooling is very similar to starting a business.
Mm-hmm.
And while you might be very passionate about baking, great. But the bookkeeping is also part of having that
Mm-hmm.
business. So
Mm-hmm.
it's not just going to be baking sourdough
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
muffins,
Mm-hmm.
And the same thing with homeschooling is like you can be passionate about, your child's safety or, coloring with your kid or just being there for those aha moments that they're going to have, but there is also record keeping.
Mm-hmm.
There are also portfolios to put together, and you do need to make sure that if college is going to be on your kid's radar, that you are prepared to do your part as their school
Mm-hmm.
representative, because that's what it is on the form, on the application. Like, you got to be prepared to do that. You can't just be deer in headlights, not willing to learn the unesthetic parts of
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
homeschooling. If you're an introvert, you might need to step out and be an
Mm-hmm.
extrovert, and if you are an extrovert, you might need to buckle down and say, no, we're studying today, we're
Mm-hmm.
learning today. So being able to set those boundaries and be able to not just do the pretty parts,
Mm-hmm.
because
Mm-hmm.
homeschooling on social media is very
Oh yeah.
pretty,
Mm-hmm.
but there are some not pretty
Mm-hmm.
parts,
Mm-hmm.
and I think people can kind of sober up to those not pretty parts when they read the law. Like, what does the law say? What do I have to do? And then, read the high school graduation requirements. If you think high school, if you're homeschooling all the way through, read the high school graduation requirements. Are you prepared to make sure that your child is able to get those 4 maths, those 4 sciences, those 4 language arts, those 3 social studies, the health, the PE. Now, I get it. If you have a 4-year-old, you don't need to stress yourself out
Right.
about this. But still knowing that this is on the radar, like, so that you can understand it's not just Crayola.
Right.
Right.
Right. Right.
Yes.
Miss Ch-
It's not just Crayola and walking in the park.
yes,
No.
definitely. Miss
And not all math happens at the supermarket.
Nah.
Oh my
Mm.
God, girl, that is my trigger. Do not get me started about that. Oh my gosh, because I love math. Sorry, please go on.
This has been so good.
It was fun.
Miss Tam, we thank you so much for your time,
Yes.
for your
Of course.
transparency, and the way that you're showing up to serve other parents.
Yes.
We love it.
Thank y'all for inviting me. Y'all, this was too fun.
Yes.
I hope it turns out to be a good episode because I don't even know what I said now.
I think it's
already
gonna be
know.
more than I can tell you. It's gonna be more than
two
one
parts.
because we've been talking for almost 2 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Oh
Yes.
wow. Okay. Well, listen, I've had a blast, and I can't wait to see y'all at the expo this
Oh,
year.
yes.
Yes.
Yes. We
Yes.
definitely got to see each other.
Yes, and I personally thank you for all the times that you gotten me off the ledge.
How many times have I called her and she called me and said, "Oh, I just saw Miss Tam and I was asking questions and she was answering questions." Thank you.
Y'all need to come visit the store in Buford
Mhm.
so we can see each other there too.
Yes, I am because I saw where you are working, and I'm like, I need to go shopping.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, definitely.
You want to talk about Willie's Chocolate Factory, Willy Wonka's Chocolate Factory.
You're in heaven,
I mean, I literally went in as a customer and just didn't leave.
basically.
That's awesome. That is awesome.
I was not trying to get a job. I promise you, I wasn't.
Mhm.
I went home and told my husband, like, I'm sorry, I accidentally got a job today. He's like, what?
What about the kids?
Well, our kids are older. That's a good thing.
And they come with me. They
That's
come with me,
good.
so they get to see from a 30-year entrepreneur how it works.
That's
So,
awesome.
That's
yeah.
good.
Yeah.
That is good.
Another homeschool experience.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, but thank you for your time. Thank you for coming.
Mm-hmm. And you've taken something that feels so big and so intimidating and made it feel possible and even exciting. And we are so grateful for you, Miss Tam, for your wisdom and your journey as well.
Yes.
I appreciate you both. Thank y'all so much for inviting me.
And the door's always open.
Always. Always open.
I'm here.
Yes.
Have a blessed day.
Thank you. Bye-bye. This is what we're all about here on Thrive by the Rising Muse, having real grounded conversations that help you make informed decisions and live boldly and intentionally.
And if today's episode helped you see homeschooling in a new light, share with someone else who's wrestling with the same questions. You are not alone. Also, follow us on social media. We are at the Rising News on all platforms, and we are trying to get to 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, so you can help us make that happen.
She just didn't want me to say nothing. Before we go, we want to leave you with this important reminder. If you're experiencing a mental health crisis, please dial 988. If a loved one or someone you know is experiencing a mental health crisis, please dial 911 or take them to the nearest emergency room. If you think you're in a domestic violence relationship and you need to talk or want assistance, you can dial 800-799-7233 or text 887-888. Please make sure that you're in a safe place when making this call of outreach.
Thank you for listening. We'll see you next time. And until then, breathe, believe,
and don't forget to thrive.
Have a blessed day.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.